Good morning, and welcome to 4C Strategy's presentation of the fourth quarter financial results announcement call. I'm Jonathan Jurso, the Director of Group Sales and Marketing Operations here at 4C Strategies, and I will be your moderator today. We have a lot to cover, including our latest financial results, strategic achievements, and what we expect for the coming quarters. But first, let me introduce the key leaders with us today. First up, we have Magnus Bergqvist with us, our CEO. Also with us is Anders Nordgren, our Chief Financial Officer, who will join the Q&A session. And we will now open up the possibilities to write questions in the closed chat. We will address these during the Q&A session. Now, without further ado, let's dive into today's session. Starting up with an executive summary, I'd like to take a more general perspective and ask you, Magnus, how would you characterize the quarter from a market and operations perspective?
Thank you, Jonathan, and before answering, a very welcome to this call. So, considering the geopolitical circumstances, 4C Strategies offering is more relevant than ever. However, it is important to note that this also means that our clients are busier than ever, which impacts the sales cycles more than in the past. But diving down and looking at the fourth quarter, we see that our diversification as a company has been very important for the group. While our North America segment has been characterized by delays in sales processes, our international segment has shown very strong development. We have won and extended several new software agreements of significant nature, which shows that Exonaut is a very competitive software platform. Already back in 2022, we launched a new version of the software platform called Exonaut Next Generation. The platform has been well received by our customers during our rollout in 2023.
Thank you, Magnus. And when looking at the financial with a revenue growth of 18% and 15% EBIT margin, are you pleased with the performance of the quarter?
Well, absolutely. 2023 has been challenging, but we're ending the year strong. As I previously mentioned, our North America segment have had continued challenges. Our performance in Nordic is stable, and our international segment had a very strong development. Combined, this leads to an overall good growth and okay margins. And given the investments made, especially given the investments made during the quarter.
Now, let's put the quarter into context of the historical development of 4C Strategies. The full year 2023 has been challenging, and the full year margin was -2%. What are the factors behind this?
The key driver is the low net sales during the second half in North America. This was not according to expectations. The other main reason for this is a slower developing corporate sector due to the existing investment climate. Additionally, the past 2 years have been investment heavy, especially in R&D, sales, and market outreach. For example, we have grown our workforce with over 20% since the IPO. Additionally, we have, in 2023, opened 3 new branches in Australia, Finland, and our corporate business in Washington, D.C. While the work to strengthen our global brand continues, we do not expect investments in R&D, support functions, and administrations to increase in 2024.
So, the trends in the fourth quarter has improved significantly. Could you provide a breakdown of the trends and the action you took in each of the segments, Nordic, North America, and International? Let's start with Nordics.
Okay, the revenues for the quarter in Nordics are at the same level as the comparable period in 2022. This is due to delay in several sales processes, which negatively impacted the growth for both the quarter and the year. However, and it's important that Nordics secured several strategic contracts during the year, As mentioned also in previous communication, we have experienced delays in converting major contracts in the defense sector. However, as already announced, we have managed to finalize several of these deals during the fourth quarter. As experiencing these delays has a negative in-year effect on net sales due to the ability to recognize revenue. These contracts include both licenses and new development, which confirms our strong position in the industry. During the year in Nordics, we have made significant investments in the sales organization, as well as I already mentioned, in the geographic expansion into Finland. We also expect that Sweden's anticipated membership in NATO will give us improved access to procurements and new potential customers and users.
Great. Moving on to the segment of North America.
Yes.
What have been the overall trends?
So, in the fourth quarter, revenue decreased by 61% compared to the same period the previous years, to 8.9 million kronor. In this segment, the defense sector accounts for 87% of the revenue. And since the size of individual deals is very large, and the finalization of several deals have been pushed forward, it has a significant impact on the quarterly trends. The fundamental reason for this is that the American defense budget is delayed and not yet approved by Congress. And the assessment is that the budget will be approved no later than the second quarter of 2024, and that orders must be finalized by the end of September, as the next fiscal year begins October 1st. And to enhance our position within the US defense sector, we have recruited a new president and appointed a new board of directors. Another area worth highlighting is that we have invested and expanded into the private sector. We have also secured new contracts during the quarter.
Finally, the international segment has seen considerable growth during the quarter. Could you please tell us more about this?
Absolutely. As we can see in these numbers, the international segment has significantly advanced its position during 2023. This resulted in revenues increasing by 120% compared to the same period last year, amounting to 62.3 million kronor. But though this segment accounts for 58% of the group's revenue in the quarter, the growth is primarily driven by Europe and Asia Pacific. 77% of the revenue comes from the defense sector, with the remainder primarily from the private. We're glad to see this trend, as the investments made into the sales organization is a significant contributor of the growth. Also important for the quarter and the future is our signing of major contract extensions with NATO. And finally, another thing worth mentioning in international is our delivery of solutions to one of the world's largest humanitarian organizations. This is very important for the 4C brand now and in the future.
Thank you. Comparing all three segments, we can see a clear difference between 2022 and 2023. The international segment has become a lot more important for 4C Strategies, amounting to almost half of the net sales. Do you see this trend continuing?
So as mentioned and shown in the 2023 graph, our full year net sales growth is suffering from lower levels of sales in North America. Our outlook is that the international segment will keep being an engine of growth. However, going forward, we expect the revenues from the segments in more balance, as we expect the defense sector in North America to recover.
Thank you. Looking forward, what are your view of the coming quarters and year?
Well, our ambition is, in the medium term, to achieve a net sales growth of more than 20%. And that 70% of total net sales is generated by software revenue. In addition, our ambition is to generate an adjusted EBIT margin of at least 20%. And during the upcoming year, many of the delayed sales processes from 2023 are expected to materialize. And due to the size of individual deals, they may have a significant quarterly impact. We therefore anticipate continued quarterly volatility and expect growth to pick up during the second half of the year, when the situation in North America have improved. The work to strengthen our global brand continues. We're excited that our R&D is shifting more towards innovation. For example, by having AI as an integrated part of Exonaut. And I look forward to presenting more on this in coming quarters.
Thank you, Magnus. And also a big thank you to the audience for your attention during this part of the presentation. We will now address the questions that have been submitted in the chat.